think the Board of Deputies sums up what real integration is about in this country, about how a community can become part and parcel of the fabric of society. That's what the board symbolises. Success, integration, but more importantly, being part of the fabric of the UK.
To represent the Jewish people in this country, at the same time to be part of the fabric, the political fabric of this country, as a Jewish community is a privilege and often a pleasure. The reason why we speak on behalf of the Jewish community is we have two characteristics that are unique. We're representative, in other words, we're elected. And secondly, we're totally cross-communal. We represent the entire community and not a section of it. So when people want to know what the Jewish community thinks, and the Jewish community is divided, we will tell that story to whoever wants to know.
We've set up a new project this year called the Community Partnership Project, which we've done with help from the Community Chest. And the whole idea behind it is to reach out to the smallest communities in the country. So we reckon that between 10 and 20% of the Jews in Britain live in communities outside the major conurbations, and at least 10% of them are in communities that are too small to actually support a rabbi. So the aim of this project is to ensure that these people are connected to the vibrant, exciting life that British Jewry has to offer, and to ensure that these crucial communities all around the country remain strongly connected to British Jewry.
I've had lots of dealings with the Board of Deputies, and it very quickly became apparent to me that they were the leading organisation representing the Jewish community in Britain, and that to understand the Jewish community I would need to be close to the Board of Deputies. Issues connected with interfaith is probably the main area. That's the area where the board really excels in terms of a secular newspaper. With the London bombings, the board was very active in helping journalists deal with interfaith issues around that. With issues around divestment and boycotts, the board is incredibly helpful and has always been very active and on the case when these issues come up with regrettable frequency in the churches. And then recently there was the story around the Reverend Stephen Sizer and the board's taking issue with some of his blogs. And the way they dealt with that was exemplary, really, in terms of dealing in a non-confrontational but effective way with an interfaith dispute.
Today we've got something called a tour, Seeing Jewish Life Tour, where we're looking at RE, religious education for young people, and we've got a school here from Hampshire today, and they come and spend a day with us looking at Judaism as it is today.
Although there is a lot of anti-Semitism, it's good that both me and the people from my school who have come on the trip today now understand the Jewish culture better than we did when we first arrived.
The Board of Deputies must continue with this programme. It's so helpful for our students, it enriches, they will learn so much, and it brings so many stories to life, as it were. And having the opportunity to listen to Eve, the survivor, today is something they will never forget.
There's no one else to do this, so I think it's incredibly important that we're able to offer this to our students.
The proposal was that, as part of the revision of the national curriculum, that all primary schools should be obligated to teach a foreign language. Now, that in itself is not a problem. What made it difficult for the Jewish community was that there was a list of specified languages, and Ivrit was not one of them. Now, the impact of that could have been quite dramatic. It was the kind of issue where the involvement of as many organisations as possible, and the Board of Deputies was key in this, it was as important as it possibly could be.
Well, when we say the board is there for the entire community, we really do mean that. We're actually there helping the community all the time, and that's for every aspect of it. So the board is providing the infrastructure for registration of marriages, of statistics in synagogues that are vital for us to understand the shape and nature of our community working with JPR. The board is there helping Jewish education with its support of Pikuach so that we can ensure that there are proper standards of education in our schools. The board is there being the political face of the communities it fights anti-Semitism. When standing up for Israel, again, we're speaking for the entire community. The community wants that. I should mention the work that we do on behalf of Jewish religious practice in supporting Shrita UK and in Mila UK, and on things like Sabbath observance in the workplace and in schools. And it's always the Board of Deputies which is the voice which actually is there to protect us.
When Woolwich took place 6 months ago, I can tell you from the bottom of my heart and with evidence that Woolwich would have had much more significant impacts in terms of tension and aggression between communities if it had not been for interfaith work that brought together all of the faith communities straight after the murder of Lee Rigby and actually calmed and reduced those tensions quite quickly and immediately. But the board, as I said, has been a shining light, a beacon for this work around interfaith for all communities and for many different diverse communities. Well, one of the greatest episodes of our work with the Board of Deputies was around the English Defence League and an extreme group which was using the Israeli flag in demonstrations, but also actually where the EDL has been attacking Muslims at a street level as well as in the online world. The Board of Deputies were absolutely fundamental in trying to disentangle the view that the Israeli flag was a part of any extreme movement. But it was also important. It was also important for the Muslim community to see that there were members of the Jewish community completely disentangling themselves from that kind of far-right narrative, and the board was fundamental to that objective. So real grassroots work, but also work that is real to people's lives today.
Like every organisation worth its salt, we're doing more than we're actually funded to do. So we're always looking we're looking for funds because we're always looking to increase our work.
We're a very tiny community. It's really important that we can all come together, and the Board of Deputies is the place in the country where we can actually come together, discuss things and be one community. It's really important.
Our budget is about 1.2 million. If we were to do a list of the board's achievements, they would take quite a long time, but we need to do more.
I believe that the community is special, it has values that are unique, it's strong. I want my children to grow up with strong Jewish values, to know who they are. And I believe that the Board of Deputies is able to actually hold all of these views together, to represent us to government, to ensure long term that we are able to deliver that community to our children and our children's children.